All right, so now we got to get out of here. I keep running my Timbs. Look at the streak it left. I was like, yeah. You know, it's not cold out, but the truck hasn't ran in like 5 days. It's like 85 degrees in October. So this is like a Florida style cold start in a way, kind of. Yeah, even though it hasn't been running in 5 days, it's not even high idling because it knows like, bro, it's like 85 degrees out. So Florida style cold start, like I said. So today's video is gonna be pretty simple because I'm not great at waking up early and I usually sleep in a little bit, kind of like every day a little bit, but today I slept in a bunch. It's like 1:52 and I'm just now getting out of the shower. So it's like, I slept in a bunch. I woke up at like 1:10. Zach calls me and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm still in bed. And he's like, you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what are we doing? Why aren't we doing something like just so stupid? Why are you in bed? And so this video is so simple that we're literally just going to go do a massive burnout. Yep, that's today's burnout. This is how downhill my YouTube channel is going.
We're gonna go 1 o'clock.
That's
sad.
I know.
It's just sad.
I know.
I'm jobless. And I was up before you.
You were jobless enough before me. But we're gonna redeem it with a heck of a burnout. All right, so now we got to get out of here because our house is kind of close and that was pretty loud.
Yeah.
I hope that turned out good on the vlog. If you don't like how it turned out on the vlog, go check it out on TikTok on Bridges Vlogs. I don't know what the rest of this vlog is going to be, so we're just going to have to find out. So maybe we'll do another burnout. We still have a lot more roads. Maybe. Running my Timbs. All right, now we gotta really bounce. That was good. That was good. Now we gotta bounce. Look at the streak it left. Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I mean Timbs, I can't do this. I gotta get an appointment to get my tires rotated now. You know, they're really sticky right now. They're grabbing like everything, like all the rocks on the road and stuff, and they launched some tire bits on there, but pretty good. All things considered. The other side, wow, they held up better than I thought they would. Huh. Truck's filthy now though, so when we get back to the house, we'll probably do some washing. Why is it so filthy? Wow. So I want to show you guys something inside the truck. So whenever I did that burnout, you may have noticed how the left tire was spinning more than the right tire, and also there's only one burnout streak in that part. And that's because I just turned off traction control. If I didn't turn off traction control, the burnout would have been a lot harder to do, because what traction control does is it gives the tire with the most traction, it tells the computer to give the power to that tire, causing it to, you know, grip better whenever you're driving and different things like that. Not great for off-roading because you can't dig into the dirt or the mud whenever it's doing that. So I went on ahead and turned off traction control so that it was just sending power to both. Now, the thing is though, the reason one spun is because of the rear diff. The rear differential is made to where not both of the tires spin at the exact same time. If it did that, you'd just be drifting everywhere and it wouldn't make any sense because one can't spin more than the other. There's like a bunch of physics and stuff behind it that I'm not smart enough to understand. If you want to do a perfect burnout, technically you would turn off traction control and then lock the diff. So you can see the little icon in the middle where it has the front axle and the back axle, little X right there, is saying lock the diff just to pull this out. So see all those little check engine lights, it's just because the truck isn't really on. It doesn't really have that. But you can see the little icon down there that it locked, and then on this little axle thing, it has a little green thing. So I'm gonna click the button again, and then that turns white, and then that thing goes away. I'm thinking the next time I do a burnout, which will probably be pretty soon, because look who you're watching. You know, obviously I'm gonna do a bunch of burnouts. I think next time I'm just gonna pull that out and lock the diff, turn off traction control, and then do it. And I think that we will have a legendary burnout at that point. And also, I'm slowly approaching the point of needing to get new tires. I don't think I'm gonna need them anytime soon, but they only have a few more months on them, because let me show you. In one of the past vlogs, like a few vlogs back, we had Ty over here, and Ty has Toyo MTs, which I happen to also have Toyo MTs. So I looked at Ty's and I realized that my tread is a lot lower than it seems, because when you live with it every day, you don't notice the gradual decline in how big the tread is. So if we look in the front tire of my truck, you can see like, there's a reference point. It doesn't have a whole lot. Usually Toyos are like here, but you know, it has a little bit, but in the rears is a lot worse. And that's not 100% because of doing burnouts. It was like that before I was doing burnouts excessively. It's also just because the weight of the truck and the power and towing with the rear, it causes them to die down faster. So here's the rear, and it's kind of slight. Actually, it's not that different. Visually, you can see it. This side isn't as bad. Actually, this side's better. Wait, what? Okay, so this side is good. That one's good. The front one's good. And this one's a little bit worse than all the others. You can't really 100% tell, but so pretty much what I'm trying to say is they're all okay right now, except for that one is a little bit less than okay, but they're all primarily okay, which means I think I can go a few more months with it, but eventually I'm gonna have to get new tires. I'm thinking about going with the same tires, but every time I get tires, I like to kind of mix it up to see what I like. And I had the 37 by 1250 Nitto Trail, oh, there's a rock. When you have a nice paint job, you gotta make sure to get rocks out. But see, I had the 37 by 1250 Nitto Trail Grapplers on them, and I had no problem with those tires. They're good tires, they're just not as good as the Toyos. They don't ride as good, they don't grip as good off-road. I mean, the Toyos are, gas mileage wise, Toyos are better. These are just a great tire. I don't really want to go with a different tire, but it seems like I'm gonna have to get new ones, and Toyos are extremely expensive. Like, I think it was like 400, 450 a tire, something ridiculous like that, which seems a little expensive, but since they are 1250s now. The other thing is, they rub right up here on the bumper. You can actually see the bumper is starting to slant because of that. That is because the body mounts on this truck are gone. Now, one thing I don't really explain on the vlog enough, which I probably should, is that this truck was not in great condition when I got it. Right now, it's kind of lipstick on a pig a little bit. It has a lot of miles. The undercarriage is dirty. Everything's kind of in bad condition. It has a horrible lift kit on it. And when I bought it 2.5 years ago, I put this lift kit on it. It's already rusting out. It's already, the shocks are already starting to break apart. It's not really great. It's rusting, everything, it's bad. So, and it's also a real rear block kit. It's not a good lift kit at all. But then the opportunity for the paint job came around, and so we had to build the truck to match the paint job. And so I kind of did everything backwards. So I need to handle some of the mechanical problems of the truck. One being the body mounts, because the body mounts are out on this, causing the truck to be a little bit lower onto the frame, causing the bumper to rub on these tires. So I want to go wider with the next set of tires, because these are 1250s, and with the 12-inch wheel, they kind of, you know, they have a good width to them, but not as good as 1350s. I've seen 1350s, and I really want them. So the goal is, and this is a pretty easy goal, is to get the body mounts fixed and repaired, all 8 of them. I think there's 8. All of them done beforehand, before we get the new tires, so then we can fit wider tires, because I'm excessive and ridiculous. 1350s should clear 37 by 1350, which is a really wide tire. That's almost a, for you guys that aren't in the truck world that know tires the other way, that's like a 355, I think. Maybe it's a 340, I don't know. It's like a 355 as a guess. Hopefully we'll be able to clear, and if not, I can live with a little bit of rubbing for that width. I think it's worth it. Outside of that though, it really is lipstick on a pig right now. The body mounts are shot. It has an oil leak in the upper oil pan, transmission fluid leak, the back axle, the back diff is leaking, yet I do burnouts. The lift kit is pretty much going to crap. I mean, it rides horrible, it rusting, like I said, it's not good. The engine has so many miles on it, and I opened up the turbo a few months back to kind of check it, and the turbine, I guess you could say fins or blades, whatever they're called, are kind of stripped and destroyed, so that I need to do something with the turbo. The injectors on this are just old, and there's nothing really wrong with that, but I know that with this 2011 F250s, that's prone to failure. So we got to do something about the injectors eventually. So turbo, injectors, the intercooler is just, I know that these things are also prone for failures with the intercooler, and so the intercooler has to have something to do with it.
So pretty much, axles are rusting, so I want to repowder coat those. Differential fluid needs to be, or the whole differential gasket needs to be changed. It needs to be rear geared because the giant wheels and tires. The lift kit needs to be completely replaced with something else. Engine work with the turbo, injectors, maybe some other stuff, and the leaks and all that need to be fixed, which those leaks aren't as simple to fix as you would think, because to get to the upper oil pan, here, I'll show you.
So I don't know what you guys can see too well, but the upper oil pan is up there, right? So you have to take out the lower oil pan, the oil cooler, then you have to like shimmy it through the engine mount brackets and stuff, but you have to take the transmission off in order to get to that. I know how to do it. I know how to do it just fine. It's not simple, but it's something that I've looked into, and I could do it, but I just don't have the tools, let alone the shop, to do it. So if I had my own shop, I'd be saving some money here, because it's like 50 to 100 bucks for the types of gaskets they need. But it's gonna be, if the oil pan is just leaking, like the gasket's wrong, it's gonna be 1,400 bucks. If the oil pan is cracked and you need to replace the oil pan, it's gonna be 1,700 bucks, which is actually, I know that sounds horrible, and that is bad. It is a horrible price, but when other shops were trying to charge me 3 grand plus, one shop told me 5 grand for that. And so the best rate I've gotten was 3 grand until I got this 1,700. So that needs to be done. I mean, this lift kit is literally falling apart. Everything is just kind of not too good. So Puff, this is, by the way, if you don't know, the name of the truck is Puff the Magic Dragon. It gets its name from puffing. Pretty much the build for Puff is nowhere near done. A lot of people think it's done. It's nowhere near done. Just because it looks good does not mean that it is done. Also, the brakes on this truck, since I lifted it and added the weight of the wheels and tires and the extra horsepower and all that, the brakes just can't keep up. You can see how the brake does, but the brakes just can't keep up with all this. And so one day I would like to change that out too. So powder coat the axles, change out the brakes, engine work, suspension work, and get the transmission healthy and all that. I mean, it would be a lot. And also, since the engine has so many miles and it's been through a lot of 37s and the tunes and all this just crazy reasons why I want to rebuild the engine. And a rebuild kit for this thing is 2,200 bucks, so 2,200, which if you think about how much a rebuild kit costs and you think about how much an engine for that costs, which is 8,500 bucks, by the way, it kind of makes sense just to rebuild it if you know what you're doing, which if I had the right equipment, the right space to do so, I could do it. And if I'm gonna do everything in there anyways, may as well go on ahead and do that too. I'm rambling, aren't I? This is getting kind of ridiculous. With that being said, thanks for stopping in on Bridges Vlogs. Go and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see more of this truck, more videos. Go on ahead and browse the channel and check out the rest. I'm out.